My daily upload on YouTube wouldn't be complete without reacting to doctors and engineers and astronauts and astrophysicists fighting with knives in the middle of Dublin streets. Today we have an Eastern European man versus a Somalian. Okay, this is now, of course, like I said, a daily occurrence. Only one winner here, the loser, the people of Ireland, okay? No matter who wins in these skirmishes between all these different, foreign people coming in, attacking each other, stabbing each other, whatever the case may be, we lose. So let's watch this video. Bunch of other news stories to get to as well. Let me know your thoughts on this. I mean, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Every day, yesterday we saw a man fighting outside Lidl, two men with a screwdriver. He got released on bail. I have the news story about that after this. We also saw two Gardaí getting stabbed. Broad daylight. This is again broad daylight. This isn't in the, late at night of Dublin. This is the middle of the day in Dublin. So I'd hate to see what the hell happens in the middle of the night in Dublin. Crazy stuff.
This is Dublin. Well, folks, second this video this morning of Usher's Key. Two foreign nationals are arguing. As you can see, one has the scissors. Eastern European man has him pinned to the ground. I don't have the full backstory to this, or the full story, or what I know from what you man that sent in the video is that the two of them were arguing. The black fella pulled out the scissors, the Eastern European fella folded them onto the ground. And as you can see, there's the end of letting him go, we grew up and anyway. And another black fella came around and he pulled out a blade. And then the Eastern European fella pulled out a Stanley blade. The guards came and arrested the three of them. So all three of them had blades. If anyone has any more content or details on this, please send it in to me. Well, this is Dublin. What a day. What a city. What a goddamn pity.
So I'm reacting to a reaction of This is Dublin, reacting to two lads fighting. But it's absolutely crazy. So your man here, the Somalian guy, has the scissors in his hand. He could easily hit the Eastern European guy in the neck or in the leg, hit some artery. Very dangerous situation. Any sort of knife, obviously a very dangerous situation. And this seems to be happening daily, like I said. It's crazy, guys. So he happened to say that all three of the lads that were fighting got arrested, which is good. They should basically arrest everyone that's fighting in Dublin. Any sort of situation where there's people going crazy in Dublin, or using knives, or trying to batter each other in the middle of the street where there's kids around, and working professionals and things like that, definitely should be absolutely arrested. So that one was from Real News Era. We got another article here. It says, breaking: the migrant released on bail after the violent incident in Dublin yesterday. Okay, another dangerous foreigner is back on the streets within hours. Good job. The justice system in Ireland is a joke. Do we even put these lads ever in prison, or is it just continual in and out of prison? It's like a rotation, in and out of jail, in and out of prison. This guy, Mohammed Khanes, 38, formerly with D1 Street, Gardner Street, okay, was granted strict bail today by Judge Stephanie Coggins, at Dublin District Court. Okay, Judge Coggins set bail on his bond to €200. That's a small bond, guys. That's tiny bond. And ordered Mr. Khanes, who has yet to indicate a plea, to sign a 5-day week at the Garda station, provide Gardaí with his new address by the end of the Saturday, remain away from Talbot Street and his former hostel. He was granted legal aid and ordered to appear again in September. So it looks like he had some sort of altercation with the lad that owned his house or something. Maybe he got kicked out or something for not paying rent. But he was the video that I put up yesterday, okay, where he was running around with a screwdriver in Lidl, attacking your man. So like I said, just in and out of prison, guys. It's not even, did he even spend a night in jail? It's just in and out. It's just crazy. This is insane. And for those who are wondering, Khanes is like a North African name. Libya, Tunisia, Egypt, one of these kind of countries in North Africa, which, like I said before, not everyone is bad or whatever, but the people that are leaving, guys, it seems like, there's no integration. If you go to Morocco, I'm sure it's a lovely holiday destination, right? But people coming here, not really integrating, not speaking English, it's very hard for people to even, grasp, a first world country. I mean, these people are uneducated. It's a dire situation. This one just happened recently as well. Just happened, I believe, today. A crazy arrest happened about the Conor McGregor pub in Drimna, the Black Forge, being set on fire. So we all know that McGregor's pub has been set on fire 3 or 4 times. You know, it's been reported every few weeks, you know, Conor McGregor, every time he announces he's running for presidency or, you know, his name gets more prominent in the news, someone has to just light his pub on fire. It's absolutely crazy. But this is absolutely crazy. This is a crazy news story. It says the man that's been connected in this is basically a extremist radical, guys. The Gardaí from the Special Detective Unit yesterday arrested a man in his 20s, and he's actually under terrorist offenses, guys, because this guy's actually, you know, he's serious threats against the state and engaged in investigations into terrorist offenses. The guy is basically like, who knows, member of ISIS, who the hell knows, guys, you know, he's an extremist radical. Like, so we just have extremist radicals running around Dublin setting fire to the local pubs. Your man that was arrested is under investigation for terrorist offenses and this kind of thing. So very, 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 very crazy, guys. You know, it seems like it's not just surface level, oh, let's attack this guy. It says that the actual attack is, you know, is very extremist activity, okay, and involved that kind of idea. So crazy, guys. But we have another news story here. It shows literally, you know, this sort of idea of the mass illegal immigration from the EU, the UN, bringing people in, you know, Roman gypsies and this kind of thing isn't working. But Patrick Quillen says the regime's solution to every problem is to face the problem with more foreigners. So it says here the Irish business, which is just a whole economics idea, you know, just bring more people in. It says the Department of Finance expects another 50,000 jobs will be added this year, but we need to bring in more migrants to basically help push the economy of Ireland. And, you know, all the economics aside, because of course we know it, the GAA stewards that were all Indian, they were brought in as well because it's like the lowest common denominator, the lowest of the low, you know, wages that they're getting paid. It's like almost like undercutting the wages, the GA, that kind of thing. It's also just for jobs in general now. You know, any sort of job that's required in this country is going to be just given to, you know, these different people who are not from here, whatever, Indian, South Asian, Pakistan or whatever. You know, not professional people, not people that own businesses and this kind of thing. These are just like, you know, lowest of the low. And then these jobs are going to just be turnover at 1,000% rate. Bringing more people in, it's going to be like a carousel of people coming in. So yeah, it's deadly, guys, it's deadly. So the last story we have here for today that I want to talk about is, thank God, this is one of the best news stories I've ever seen. Premier League Rainbow Armband campaign ends. So for those who don't know, guys, you know, if you're like the captain of your squad, like Arsenal or one of these teams, you have to wear an LGBT sort of armband for some strange reason. You know, it doesn't help anything. It's just virtue signaling nonsense. But for some reason, they were forced to do that. And then, of course, a lot of people lost their jobs. And, you know, a lot of people lost their livelihoods because of their religion. They said, we don't want to be wearing these armbands because of our religion. And they either got dropped as captain or they got dropped as a player on that team. So it was a whole sort of social issue injecting into sports. And I don't like to hear sports being too much, you know, injected with politics and that kind of thing. You know, you watch entertainment, you watch sports, you watch Netflix, you watch YouTube to kind of get away from politics. You know, if you're watching YouTube for entertainment, you know, if you're watching football, footy, you know, you're watching football, soccer for the sole reason to get away from politics, to get away from the nonsense of the world, the sort of outside void that everyone is, you know, inside, screaming into the void. And literally, it's great to see this has been now finally ended. Thank God, guys. Just today, or yesterday, Friday, yesterday, the Rainbow Armbands campaign has finished. So, good riddance to bad rubbish, thank God. Completely defunding the pride would be definitely a good shout, guys. Because any of this stuff, you know, like I said, it's just virtue signaling. Everybody has rights. Everybody is the same now in society. In Irish society, guys, nobody is a higher class or a second-class citizen. You know, everybody is the same. Everybody has the same starting point. So what you make from that is what you become in life. Nothing to do with joining sort of groups that help fund people, this kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely crazy. Let me know your thoughts on that. I love you all. Tomorrow, tune back in again, Because guaranteed there'll be another stabbing, guys. How much you want to bet? It's Saturday today. Saturday night in Dublin. Oh, it gets rowdy in there, I'd say. A lot of people, a lot of iPass centers up there. I'm sure there'll be some sort of crazy activity. So let me know your thoughts. I love you all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video to become a member, because the mainstream media will not talk about any of these news stories that I'm talking about in detail, okay? Or else they'll give you a left-wing slant to it, which we don't want to hear about, guys. We don't want to hear about this left-wing, outdated Marxist ideology. I'll see you guys all in the next one, man. Peace.